And we're going to try something that's a little tinsy-wincy bit different, yes? Google. Big company, yes? Wonderful company. But I fear that it misses out on such a G-L-E? A Googlicious, yes?
Yeah.
I feel that you're just missing out on a whole market opportunity. And maybe for the users as well. Now, I was thinking about something, which I've been thinking about quite a bit. So we have YouTube. Is it still a part of Google or is it not?
YouTube, is it part of Meta now?
Either or, it's still, when you're in Google, and I watched this program, actually it was a film, and they were all like brainstorming and stuff, and I was like, yeah, that's a fucking awesome movie. Just because of the characters in there, from Wedding Crashers, I believe, anyway, and yeah, what are they called? Transcripts. How do you spell that?
And
Is it really? Okay.
SCRI.
I'm just going like that. Anyway,
I think T is there.
Yeah, maybe. Perhaps it is, and I don't really care. So,
What about transcripts?
So there are people that like watching vids, yeah?
Yeah.
But there are also people who love not watching vids, but like reading books.
Yeah.
Now, what happens if your content creators from the transcripts, if they got really good, because some of it is good and some of it is poor, but if that AI algorithm was a little better, do you think you could make a transcripts into books of all the content? So I envision my content, and I think, now I've got videos that shoot over here and then shoot over here. I'm acting like a printer. Yes?
Yeah.
Where you sort of like, 1 minute it's the subject here, and then the next minute you shoot over here and it's the subject there, and then sometimes I might go off this way, and then sometimes I'll come back on this one, and then sometimes I might dance off on this one. But, okay, and it's all scattered all over the place, and I like it because it's all messy and jumbled, but some people like this just neatness. And some of the subjects are about life, some of them about space, some are a bit religion and different things like that. The fascinating thing is, you ever want to profile someone, like myself?
Yeah.
I'm taking the piss, but still, you would begin to understand that there are puzzle pieces being made in a very haphazard sort of way, which appears haphazard because it's a video content and each day. And this also got me thinking about Big Brother as well. We'll get onto that later. But first, we'll do it this way. And when you begin to put all of this together, what you notice is a puzzle merging, and each piece is a journey, right?
Yeah.
So there would be 2 books that I would make from the transcripts if... Books, yes, we did write books, apostrophe S, plural. And anyway, could you imagine that? One would be the order of particular day, number this day, and then paragraph, chapter.
Yeah.
Would be pretty heavy book, more like a Yellow Pages book, but still more for the consumer, right? I don't even know how much these books are even worth, to be honest, but it's still quite big, yes? It's not my thing. Yeah, I've read probably a couple of books in my time. Oh, I've read all of those Biffer and Chip and everything else books, those ones. I had a good go with those, especially with Litland. And, yeah, really, it's not my cup of tea. But I noticed that there's other people's cup of tea, and I've also noticed with these people that like books, they're not really keen on videos. So if you took all the transcripts as natural as they formulate through the, what do you call it? The haphazardness, that's one volume, isn't it? And then there's the arranged volume. So you take the videos about science, and you take the ones about religion. I'm just going to call it Reg. And you take all of the other stuff of growing economy. No, it's not that. The next chapter of human evolution and evolution and all of these different things. And you neaten all of these videos up with the transcripts. You can create 2 types of books. One is haphazard and as natural flow, and then the other one is all together. And what do you reckon to that?
Yeah, tell the story that otherwise someone else would see on the video. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, as opposed to seeing it on the video, you perhaps would read it as a book as each day per video. It's basically just you can make books into videos, but no one ever thinks about making videos into books. I don't think it's ever been done. Everyone looks at Stephen King and they're like, and fantastic. Man, am I using a lot of names in this? Copyright? No, I don't know. But still, everyone looks at Stephen King's books and they're like, how can I make that into a movie? Yeah?
Yeah.
But is anyone looking at a movie and thinking, how the hell can I make that into a book? Have you ever heard it? Based on the movie, this book was made. It's never been done before, right? But based on the book, based on as it was written, based on this. Based on the novel of Stephen King, It. Fantastic. Rose Red next. Storm of the Century. Oh, I can't wait. Is there any more that are going to come? I love these movies, by the way. They were awesome. I probably would never understand who Stephen King was unless they made him into... And then it must be true opposite. That some people are just real bookworms. And some people are video worms. And either or. So you've got two markets, haven't you? Really? And that's interesting, because then if it gets converted into a book, what else can it be converted into? An exam? Anyway, but still, the exam of life. Have you ever considered that? Oh, by the way, I'll trade this idea if you make me a book. I need an editor. That's the problem with me. I wouldn't ever let myself reckless in videos, but still, if there was an editor, maybe you need to brush up on this bit a little bit. And then it opens another door for Google. If we take it back to Google and say, the editor didn't like it because of these reasons. All right, we'll just feed it into our AI printer. And AI is like, ding, done it. And I take it back to the editor and they're like, absolutely perfect, wonderful. Does it mean I get published? Yes, it does. Will you ever talk about your book? I'm going Machiavellian style. What's that? It was someone in the 1900s that wrote this book and I died before they even knew who I was. How's that? Would you like that? That's good. That's more ghost than ghost. That's like pre-existing ghost. How do you like that? That's a good idea, isn't it? Yeah. And then you get to hide beneath everything, and people get to talk about your book, but they'll be like, there was this person back in the 1900s that wrote all of this stuff. Oh my God, so futuristic. Which I could go back even further, 1800s. It was at the exact same time they were writing the Bible. No, I'm just kidding. Times of Jesus were around. This book was being made. No, I mean, that would be really scary futuristic then, wouldn't it? But still, I mean, I wouldn't brush up on certain things, but other things, it's all about the journey, isn't it? Yeah. If I take a few of the understandings that we got, like when we went to Theti, you hear some people, it's really weird, isn't it? That you hear people talking about certain stuff, Diana, and different things like that. And I grew up around this, by the way, and you're very easily influenced by this. But I also learned something, right? Everybody who's ever been in a relationship, or anything else for that matter, or you start to do really well in life, and what happens to all the people around you? What do they start doing? They start making up stories. They conjure up things about you, and they exaggerate and embellish and do all sorts of things. And then you can understand this, maybe you can't. Have you ever been in a relationship where someone badmouths you afterwards? You were the best thing while you were with the person, and as soon as you left them, my word, you were an asshole. I didn't know I was so bad. All those times you told me I was good. Cognitive dissonance on steroids, I think. Now I'm like, which one was really me? It's a good job I'm not looking through the eyes of you, but still, that's an interesting thing. And come on, fellas, because you know you've done it too. She was brilliant, and then you end the relationship, and then she was terrible. And wow, it's great, man and woman, both equally admitting something. But now amplify that tiny little story there, and amplify it if you were, I don't know, in power. A king. A queen. It gets worse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why? Well, the bit that we don't understand is, why would men and women do this to each other in relationships? On the small scale, why would you do it? If I can't have him, no one else will. If I can't have her, no one else will. I mean, come on, we all did. We like to think that we're better than that, but we're not. That's usually the right. And then think about it if you climb higher. And I think that only really works if you climb. And then at the same time, you're like, oh my fucking deck, oh shit. See, you get it that people can spin a good yarn and it's what's whispered. That's the bit that's important. It's whispered. People's opinions, caretakers, and everything else. And this is very true. Mind Valley will coin that phrase on the adverts of Mind Valley, which then gets me thinking about certain aspects in our life. And maybe true, maybe false. But either or, the thing is, take it with a grain of salt or sand. You know, the higher up you come, the more the shit is going to come for you, isn't it? Isn't it? And has anyone ever been in this situation where someone's been like, yeah, mate, hold this for me. All right, then. Hold this for me. Okay, then. And then they take a picture of you. What are you holding? Paraphernalia of drugs, my friend. Huh. I was just, you son of a bitch bastard. The picture doesn't tell you everything, does it? And think about it, you can spin that. And then if someone was to publish that picture of you holding that paraphernalia of those drugs, what's everybody going to say? I could dress that up however I want. It's like a Christmas tree ready to be decorated in any way I see fit. Now, what would be the agenda behind that? Well, perhaps you didn't let me move forwards. Perhaps I wanted to poison a load of people. Oi, I'm a Scrooge, you know. I wanted to pay people shillings a week. You made it so I had to pay them more than shillings. And I don't like that. I end up giving away several guineas. Didn't like it. And therefore, picture like that. I might be able to spin this yarn, make you look bad, pulls you down, and then I go back to giving shillings. Yeah. Fucking right, innit? And we can all be swept up in this. And we like to believe in psychology that no one will ever lie to us. Don't we? They'll never lie. They'll never lie to me. They'll never lie to me. Fact or fiction? Which one is it? And I think it's more dodgier. Not that's with videos is even hard to tell. But pictures? Okay, no. No. Wrong place, wrong time, right place, right time, depending on who was taking it. Oh, this is juicy. Yeah, and then we're easily fooled, and we don't like to admit that either, do we? That we, how many times have you avoided something because somebody told you something? And word of mouth is very powerful, isn't it? Have you noticed that? Yeah. That's an interesting thing. And in with my videos, that's an interesting thing. And we don't like to be two-faced either, do we? Aren't we shamed into all of that? You're so two-faced, you are. It's said in such a negative way. I know I am. What, you're okay with that? Oh, shit. And then you start looking through the arsenal bag to throw something else at you. From where I understood it and where I grew up, two-faced was not a good thing. So therefore, even if you got something wrong, you would still have to pretend to be right. Because being labelled... And this goes back in time, right? People used to walk in nooses because they didn't want to be called a coward. You know that? That people feared being called a coward, so they would walk into gallows. The word of being called a coward and renowned as a coward made people walk into nooses. That's interesting, yeah?
Yeah, that is, isn't it?
And then we'd have to think about something else as well. Who hates women? Well, the ones that used to be off with their heads, right? Queen's head, king's head. How many of them got fucking their heads beheaded? It's near enough all of them, isn't it? Pretty much.
In different places, not just this kingdom as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, we all got to be careful. We've got to be careful, and we can be easily tricked. So yeah, that's one take home from any of my videos would be that. That he never settled on anything. Well, I can show you it in two lights. Because one is being dressed this way, and it might be true, but it might also not be true. And we're very easily tricked, plus all of these factors that keep us in this sort of straight line to focus on that. And it might not be whatever the agenda is at the end of it. It could be to bring something down in order to put something worse in place. And sometimes it could be better, but it could also be worse. See, there's the fine line, isn't it? And if people have an agenda for that, well, your agenda might be to not let a partner get with somebody else because you just want to give them a bad name, right? If I can't have them, no one can. Ooh. And this is true. I think a strife, really, that most of these relationship breakdown and murders that come from these sort of things, which is an interesting thing, often come from that. So yes, it's kind of shades of grey and different things like that, but still. And the more high you climb, the more something so innocent in nature can be blown out of proportion. And everyone loves a good shit, don't they? They like to pull out the cauldron, a wooden spoon, and stir. And we can all be whirlwind in this, and we all grow up in this sort of narrative, and it's the worst kind. It's so contagious, isn't it? Because we hear all of those things, although we're trying to pay attention to the TV. But your subconscious mind is like, oh fucking hell. Bless its heart. It's not 100% great, but it pulls all of this stuff in. Yeah. Sort of have a little bit of that. What did they say? Yes. Your focus dead's set on a fucking TV set somewhere, and adults having conversations around you. You can't turn it up and you can't shut them up. So, I mean, you're stuck in this middle of sort of like trying to listen to it, but you are taking in all of this background information. That's an interesting thing. And maybe they've believed something because someone spun a yarn. Why did they spin the yarn? What can be, and there it is, right? The information, there's value in it, in any way you spin it. Because there could be value for somebody else's agenda on that, and they can make a mountain out of a molehill. I think that's usually how it is. So anyway, there, with my whole understanding with my stuff, I will always flip-flop, and I think it's the best way to be, I think, because it helps you to come to, well, perhaps not the overall truth, but it helps you sort of look, how do you want to see it? That's an interesting thing. Very interesting, isn't it? Loads of agendas. And I'm pretty sure if I was shaping shit up in society, right? I think I'm going to be hated. I think I'm going to be enemy number one, right? Yeah. Don't you think? Because you might write some laws, or you might do this, or you might put some things in that some people really don't want to follow. Yeah. That's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. And in the process of that ruffling of those feathers, it's a bit like the relationship breakdown, which technically is what it is. This can create some negative stuff. And if they seize an opportune moment, there you are. So that's the journey that I've been on. There you are. And a little bit more honest about it as well. So, yeah, I get shit wrong. But I like to try and see if I can get there in the end. So, interesting. So, yeah, have you ever wondered about this sort of thing? This whole situation from the beginning of what is understood, and then you take a little bit more of a second step back. And you look at it again. You know, because we're taught, wow, it's not that we're taught. I think it's easier that we listen to what we're told as opposed to adding our own intelligence into it as well. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. And some education we're taught is good, is valuable. It props you up. I'm sure it is, yeah? But it teaches you this intelligence to be able to put that into it and take a step back and look at it again and say, or could it be this way? And I think that's healthy for a society to really scrutinize that on both sides. And I think that awareness is a better education, I think, because it allows you not to make rash decisions. Don't you? Yeah. Well, I've been through this path a lot in my life, so I ain't nothing special. Not really in the context of anything. Different, not special, not higher than anyone else, not lower than anyone else, but I've seen some real big mountains out of molehills. Fuck, I've walked that path. And I've been there myself. So, and I've been on the receiving end of it a lot more than anything else. So, you know, that's the sort of, this person's this. And it's reputational damage. Why? Or I'll leave you to be the judge of that. Or probably because you get into certain things and look at it and say, should it be like this? And some of these that are making a lot of money out of it do not want to stop doing that. I remember the first time I met some resistance. All right, I'm not going to name and shame, although I really don't give a shit half the time. But now, walk through that event. Service charges. Yeah, sort of whipping those out to deliver a service and never did.
Yeah.
Well, when you stand up to something like that, what is the objective of a service charge? To deliver a service, which means that that money is going to be utilized to go into something.
Yeah.
If they don't deliver on that service but still take the charges, what are they making? Easy
profit.
Money.
Pocket money.
Lots of money.
Yeah.
Because they're taking this money from each person, but they're not delivering what that money is being taken for. And when you understand that and you begin to calculate it over a larger area, you think this is small money because you only think of yourself. And then you start asking questions. Are you paying it? Yes. Are you paying it? And then you go around each house number then assuming that this one in this area, if you're paying it, everyone's paying it. If this area, they're paying it, you're paying it. You only need a few people to say yes on this sort of thing. And then before you know it, you're taking out a calculator at that weekly, monthly ratio of what it is. And then you understand that that is a large amount of money. And it's meant to go into wages. It's meant to go into creating jobs for people. It's meant to go into giving them a decent wage on a job. But then where is this money going? If there is no increase in anything outgoing, and there's a decrease in what they're outgoing, but there is no increase in any other aspect. That's the bit that I couldn't pinpoint, that when you're delivering this service, then at least if you were taking that money back, because I had an inkling that they would say that they were perhaps building more houses with that money. There was no change in the fluctuation between the two. As time goes on, this pattern reveals itself. And when you stand up to something like that, you've just gone for somebody's money. And it seems weird. I didn't write a law, but awareness. And that, without even writing a law, then you get a lot of shit. Maybe not. It depends on how I look at that. And you've just attacked someone's money. Maybe it was shared among everyone. I don't know how that would all work out. I didn't follow it deep enough. But yeah, you calculate with this. And that's not making a law. That's standing up to it and saying, hold on a second, this ain't right. And making other people aware of that. I probably wouldn't have really overlooked it terribly much. But the fact in some of this would cause people to seriously harm themselves. That's the thing. And that other people are at risk of this. And especially if there's youngsters. And I mean, it's an inconvenience that you probably don't want to go through. That's the thing. And especially for a kid and parent and anything else in that situation, that's a lot of anxiety that is not needed. And then you meet some backlash from that, perhaps. Now, could you imagine that if you were in politics or anything else, courts or whatever else, and you put these laws into place? It's exactly the same, but it's on a grander scale. And this is only one particular group doing it. Are they all doing it? No. Some are, some aren't. That's just the thing. But the more they get away with it, then one watches another. Perhaps. Maybe one leaves this and goes to this one and says, well, they were doing it like this. And some of them might say, well, we can give a shit how they're doing it. We're doing it this way. And then some might be like, hang on a minute, what did you say? More shillings? Easy money. And then a few others start to do it, and then it begins to become something really big. And then it becomes huge. And you could be talking billions, maybe even trillions. Who knows, however long you do it for. But it starts to increase. Increase. And then when you go to write a law to prevent that, mountains out of molehills are going to happen. That's guaranteed. So, and I guess if people don't speak up, then you don't really know what you're talking about or what I'm talking about right now. So it's easy to assume that it's all, made up. Oh, it can't be that. It is that bad. It is. When people can get away with stuff, they will. And then they might want you to be silent. They definitely want you to be silent because it's not reputational damage, not really, but it's just that they will have to change.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to go a different course. And then it posed something bigger that if you were cutting corners there, where else? And then this became a behavior that was really embedded, and then it opened a can of worms that were like, ooh, big can of worms. And yeah, it's interesting. And then if you begin to stand up to this, you become enemy number one.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Because of the change. And then, yeah, you strengthen up as time goes on. Oh, fucking hell, I've been through some events in my time, I must admit. So this is a walk in the park considering to some of these, but it's not been 100% easy in itself. But still, in some of the stuff that I was talking about in the videos, do you see how easy it is to sort of... Do you get how we can fall into these traps, that we can believe a lot of things because of perhaps, could you imagine that? Someone will be like, oh, don't trust this person, oh, this person's a little bit, well, this person might be a little bit, and it sort of creates this distance because sometimes you open your mouth and say things and you don't mean to, but you're just questioning and you won't shut up because we need you to just shut up. So if we can't distance you from that behavior, we can distance other people from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
So then no one will ever pay attention until you start noticing some more things, and then you start saying that, and then people are like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. This is... And then they might go on their own little journey, and that's a great thing because... if you've got a group of 5 of you and one of you sees this one, but then you wake up somebody else and then they see something else, and then another one sees something else and another one sees something else and sees something else. What you get out of it, which you're supposed to be receiving by default, but you also get protected because there's more of you.
Yeah.
And then there are more changes, but it damages the money. Money, it's always down to money. And the easier the money, and then what can that money be used for? Yeah, you'll keep quiet, won't you? Oh yeah, you'll stay silent, won't you? You'll go over there and do this for me. I just wonder how you break the ice on that though. And then, what is that like for training? That's an interesting thing. How does this come about? You've got a lot of individuals in this. How do you shut them all up? So what's in it for them? And not all of them, because some of them are there and probably would be like, yeah, this is pretty wrong. Finally, someone said something, because they probably want to do a good job, get nostalgia from it and feel important. And it's a great part of the process, isn't it? But there could be a lot in there. I just wonder how you break the ice on that. I'm going to employ you for this. I just wonder, how do you break the ice on that? Weird, interesting, but yeah, still. So, Google vids to books from the transcripts to make books that they can go to editors or whatever else. And then, what would be in it for Google? Because you'd have to ask that question. None of this shit is free. Like, if they were to make an ebook out of all your transcripts. I mean, it's another platform. I mean, Google love tech, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, it makes a competitor to Amazon Books, doesn't it? Well, fucking hell, you could even put it on Amazon, couldn't you? Then it opens up another doorway possibility to sell something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, catch a different audience. I don't know if people watching videos are going to buy a book, but still.
Or also, if they make it like a book that could be just read, so you don't have to watch, then it's good for people who cannot see, or for people who like to listen to something to go to bed. My mom used to like that.
Deaf?
No, people who cannot see but can listen to
an audiobook.
Yeah, audiobook instead of when it's video, like make audio story from video from film, sort of.
Yeah, but I have to go through the book in order for it to bypass right, because I've got to admit, right, not all of us are making videos that are really good, right? And some people are like, oh no, the shadow banning and stuff. I think shadow banning is good in some aspects, and I think it's really terrible in the other aspects. Yeah, but if a book could be offered in that way, would that go through the shadow banning because you need to see an editor?
Yeah, and then someone can read it on YouTube, again, for people who cannot see, or for people who want to just listen to the story and go to sleep, like my mom used to do that.
Well, I suppose that can be done, but that's not a book, though. That's more of a, you can get this done on the video anyway. But then it could make some jobs at Google, because they like to brainstorm with that sort of stuff. And some people can then code that sort of... Yeah, I don't know. Some people enjoy doing this stuff. But it's not for me personally. I wouldn't mind the book at the end of it, because then it can sort of really, it gives you the book as it in the raw format.
Yeah.
Perhaps not this one. Fair enough. Perhaps not this one. Okie dokie. Other than that, if it was all of like this, we'll publish your book. Good. Machiavellian. Machiavellian? We can do Machiavellian, can't we? And then I think that sort of helps people then, that based on that, it can be a sort of gentle teaching of how to get them past the shadow banning. Because you learn from that, don't you? Yeah, some people talk and say anything and don't mean to say things, and yes, perhaps some things are not ready for this particular, or could be blown out of context, or could be, if it isn't already, through the grapevine. People talking from mouth to mouth, you hear it. Did that open your ears to something when there? The person was a little special. I'm sure they had been drinking. Harmless, most of it, singing in between that, but in between that, it come out with a few sentences that was like, I was like, shit, me, nothing's changed here. But still, it was, and again, the thing I wanted to ask, but again, they're not in a very, they were coherent enough, but still friendly as ever. But I would like to know how you come to that thought. Where does that come from? Where does all of that come from? Because I know where it comes from. For me, there's sort of people whispering around you who should really know better. God, if you could shadow ban teachers. I'm kidding, it's not teachers, but still, the ones who teach us, who we listen to more so. I don't know. So yeah, this shadow banning thing, I get it on some videos, but does it have to be all of it? How can you ever learn how to be a bit, or at least perhaps you need to... I think the best way to do it is through books, because there's always been editors, hasn't there? So certain types or publishers, I'm pretty sure. Do you think Stephen King has wrote a book and someone has gone, perhaps dial back this? Or they're like, fuck it, free reign, off you go, say whatever you want. The world is your oyster. I don't know, there's perhaps freedoms in America, so it might be a little different. He is American, yeah? Side out in America, yeah.
Once he got more famous, maybe his first book or second book or something, then they do not interfere usually. But with some writers who are not that popular and that well known, they will have probably more notes and more stuff to tell them,
I don't know, some people like reading. I do not.
Yeah.
I like to hear the stuff, so yeah, it just suits me. But I understand that's not many people are like that, is it? I don't know. I think more people are like books. You're a bookworm, aren't you? You like a book.
I quite like a book, but that's in my nation. It's quite usual.
There you are.
A lot of kids start reading at a certain age, and then people read. Most of them read.
Well, if it opens the mind on futuristic and space and different things like that, I mean, count me in. I wouldn't mind poisoning your minds a little bit with some real deep Because, I think that's when you go away from the book, you'll sort of put it down at the end of it and sort of be like, yeah. And if you can inspire those next generation to sort of start reaching for some of this stuff, I think that's what it's about. If anything you take away from the video is, I am two-faced, love it, fucking stand by that. And if I can open your mind, just want to open your mind to possibilities, and it doesn't have to get you there. But what it does do is it gets you somewhere else that's not relying on a planet, perhaps thinking industrial, perhaps thinking this, and then it can create a new workforce as well. And they know, and some people are like, that's plagiarism. It's not really, is it? Well, I don't think it is. If you can turn that into something more than enjoyment, then I think that's really good. That's what it was designed to do, right? To make you open your mind so that you put some of this into practice. Yeah? Because some people might be like, why don't you do it? Are you kidding me? If I was born an octopus, maybe. If we invented cloning, perhaps. But we're just not there yet. Maybe next time when I come around, Maybe I'll be there. You'll probably refuse all of those things, won't it? One's enough. Okay, alright. Yeah, so that was what I was thinking about. Google, YouTube, transcripts. Because if not, why are you making transcripts? What, for people to read it? So it becomes like a video reading. I don't know, some people like the transcripts. I think then if those transcripts were put into print somewhere, and some people like an actual copy, don't they? Right, good job, because it's fully recyclable, this one.
Yeah, some older people actually like them on the screen at the same time, because some of them turn off the sound completely, because otherwise would have to be too loud, even with some device in their ear.
And some people have resonance. Either you resonate with a voice, or in here, it's. I've tried to do as much as I can to sound it out, but it still sounds tinny. If I was to pad it all down, I'm more focused on the message as opposed to the way it sounds. Sometimes I'll watch some of them back, and I can hear that. But if I turn it down and get the sort of right, and then there are some people's voices that just piss you off.
Yeah.
Some there you are. I got a smile from you there. So and I think that anyone else is probably like, all right. It's not you. It's your voice. It's just like fingers on a blackboard. I feel the same. We've all got that, but none of us are perfect, and some of us have voices that resonate in the right sort of way, and other voices are just, I don't know if I can focus in on your voice. And that's what reading turns off, isn't it? Because you read it in your own voice then. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, I like when actors are reading something, because they are trained, maybe not all of them, some of them are like meh still, but some of them can give that accent when it's needed, pause for a bit, do it higher, do it lower, shout when it's, it's different.
It is. I was thinking of something, I zoned out, and I'm listening to you, but if it goes from Google to YouTube, then someone makes a video, and then from video transcript to books, and then books to movie. I mean, what a journey.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if I spelled that right.
Yeah, movie.
I mean, that's a hell of a journey, right? But at least you get a little stake in there, don't you?
Yeah.
And then YouTube maybe get a little stake, and then the creator gets a stake, and the movie gets a little stake. Because, in that book, especially when we come to videos, what if you've got one particular subject and someone runs off and makes a movie from it?
Yeah.
From that particular, and then they look at the whole book. How many years worth of directing have you got now? It depends on what, I try to, look at my own content sometimes, not watch it, but look at it from a distance and think, I could probably turn that into a movie. Maybe I could do this one as well. Maybe that would be interesting. Or then you've got documentary. It's a science documentary or something like that. I don't know, planetary documentary where all these, crafts go flying off and this, that, and the other. And as it's being narrated and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah, that could be very interesting. And then how much can science then put their two pennies in? And then how much can visualizations? And then how much can this teach? And then how much of a blueprint can this begin to make? I think it begins to help I think it begins to help a portion of humanity. Sure. And if anybody else is then doing this sort of stuff too, I mean, wow, how many years worth of dedicated movies could you make from that? Documentaries could you make from that? That keeps you in a job, that keeps these in their creative state. They get something, these get something, these get something. I mean, it's a hell of a journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Multi-subjectual and whatever else. And yeah, perhaps if many years go by and then the shadow banning is all lifted on certain things, you know, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. Or whether the algorithm or different things like that. Whatever, you know, I was looking in multiple different ways for that, but yeah. Can bring some quite good understanding. But gee me, a hell of a fucking journey though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then that's the best of both worlds, right? Actually more worlds than one. One, you're getting revenue from your vids. These ones are getting notoriety off of these ones, are getting notoriety off of these ones, which then are getting notoriety off these ones, and now these ones, which is the bookstores, and then these ones are giving notoriety back to these ones, which then give it to them, which then give it to them. Google Movies. That's got a good ring to it.
Yeah.
There you are, and then it starts to come off of this. Or Google Books. Do they do books?
Google, I'm not sure.
Come on, how much have I just made you? Oh, well, again, and how many jobs?
I think there are some books somewhere on Google, but I'm not 100%.
A little bit of AI inspired.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
And then if it's successful, it goes into toys and it goes into other stuff, and they sell notebooks with pictures from certain movie or something.
And then there could be Google Loans.
Yeah.
Well, come on, okay. We're
Decorations, anything, yeah.
Google Loans. For what? Google businesses in space. Google jobs. I mean, this really does, Google Loans, Google Jobs, Google Space, G Space.
Yeah.
Look, I'm only going to run your company for an hour, and then I'm never touching it again. But still, you know, then this, because you know, and some of them I was talking about robots.
Yeah.
You know, games that are robots that build things in space. I mean, this begins the backbone off of that again. It's not for me, really. I wouldn't really. Maybe this is as much as you're going to get, but still, if it inspires. Anything else on it? No. Yeah, but you know, yeah. I think Google have let me chat. Do you get it? And some of it has not been great. Some of it's been a little all over the place, I think. So, and so you know, give something back, and it's all been free. Do you understand that? It's a free platform, so that's pretty good. And content creators and different stuff like that. I mean. Yeah, I know some people are doing stuff and creating plushies or I don't know, squeezy toys, and some of them are into that.
Yeah.
But as opposed to saying that, it could be that how to do that. I guess people getting creative and stuff. I mean, creativity is a pretty good thing in a world that's a little bit uncertain. And if space is done by AI and creativity will become the medicine for that, it's good training for deep space travel, although not right now. But you've got to start now in order for it to ripple out so people become equipped with that sort of... And then deep thinking, Google thoughts. On some of these documentaries, Google documentaries or whatever else. And... They get scientists to come in and find their part of it because their expertise is making that shit happen. You said it. We know how to make that, and mathematicians are like, yeah, you need some of this, and then you know, I think before you know it, it begins to transform. Well, parts of the world. It gets them going, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which you may be funded, or it can go to anything else, for that matter.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think in order to stay in the market like that, you have to be able to be in a lot of the areas for it. I don't know. It'd be nice if there was multiple of these around the world, you know. It's just a tax pot that's a little bit interesting with some of this stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not my thing, but still, doesn't have to be Google. That could be a new thing here as well, couldn't it? Any sort of platform that starts, I mean, that's an interesting way to go. And I don't know if anyone's done this yet. I don't think so. I think it usually goes from books to movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, usually. Either it follows quite well or it's just based on it. But it always, there's always a story already written, isn't
But I'm sure if it's a movie about Stephen King's It, this is putting some sort of coins in his pocket.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's got to, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's also putting some coins in everybody's pocket.
Yeah,
The actors,
as
this,
soon
that,
as
the other.
it's written that it's based or the author cooperated on it, and
On one condition, I'm going to be the one that mangles my own book.
yeah,
Yeah, that's that's pretty good. Yeah, that could be a hell of a platform, that.
yeah.
But again, just a suggestion. Yeah, do what you will, but still. Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier, by the way. I really wanted to share it with you, and I was like, I want to do something different today. Just climb down from this sort of stuff. I'm not really climbed down, I'm still there. Oh, there's loads in the background, but still. Just wanted to do something a little different. There was something else. Maybe I will do that some other time, I think, but there's a few more there. Interesting. Yeah, I'm leaving it there. You know, that's probably about it.